let's get started with this shoulder girdle PSD work. One thing I was not doing was rotating both of them at the same time. This control system has behavioral effect, so rotating both of them should produce a mirrored effect. So that should make things a little bit easier when it comes to setting these values. So I'm going to come over here and let me just see what we're working with. Yes, that's Y. I'm going to set a key and go to 30 and shrug this to about, I'm actually going to go slightly higher, a little bit more higher here than usual. About that much. So this is a little bit more than 60%. Or I might have actually hit just the right amount. Yeah. And so that sets a key. And that looks good. All right, so that's a lot of work that needs to be done in that neck area. I'm going to focus on that first, and then we'll move to the clavicle. So I'm going to isolate this, make sure symmetry is on, and mirroring over the x-axis. All right, so let me go back to 0, add a target, and just call it source shrug elevation. Go back to 30. Enable my move tool. I'm going to hold down the B key. Increase the brush size a little. And just start getting this out of here. That is really messy. Definitely need to do some either smoothing or relaxing as I pull it out. I really should increase my brush size so that I'm making broader movements at this stage. The way it's melted, I do need some broad movements. I do have to be careful because she does have a choker on here. And I either have to accept the fact that the choker will expand to accommodate the anatomy, which for a real choker, it really wouldn't do that, but I don't mind in this case it expanding, because if we go, it's right there. So I can either accommodate it since she pretty much always has it on. Actually, that's not true. She doesn't always have it on, so I do have to be careful. I'm going to accommodate the correct anatomy and accept the fact that the choker will adjust, because this character is being built to utilize whatever clothing articles are designed for her in the future. And if she doesn't have a choker on, I don't want the anatomy to be held in place as if there's a choker holding it in place. Now let me start working on this clavicle. I usually started to mislead myself into thinking that the clavicle always is just straight. But when I look at more anatomy sources, so this is an example of what the clavicle is doing. One thing that I did on the old character was have the ascent start right at the manubrium, which would be wrong. I guess the manubrium, I have to accept the fact that manubrium of the clavicle is here in the center, and then a little bit offset from the center. That's when you start this ascent to get this 45-degree angle. So here's another video example of what I'm talking about. So when she shrugs her shoulders, that's very careful. I used to have this collarbone act as if it's pivoting from this central place, and that can't be because at the center here, there's a bone called the manubrium, right? And it just, the collarbone or the clavicle attaches here and goes up. So I have to stop doing this thing where it's like a 45-degree ascent from this pit, this center. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And by the way, this video is from Ask Dr. Joe on YouTube. So just that, like that, over here, I'm going to keep this central area not too affected and just allow the ascent to happen a little after. So then it makes it look as if there is some kind of a swoop, right? And that should be the more accurate result. There's still a part of it in here that's really indented. I want to try this inflate brush. In the past, I was able to do some really nice things with it. Let me just see if I can just take it in. No, it's misbehaving. Let me try the build up. Yeah, the build up does a much better job of pulling things out. But ultimately, I think I have to accept that this is more so the outlining of primary detail. And when you're dealing with primary detail, that is closer to impacting the silhouette. Even in ZBrush, you'd be using the move tool. All right, that was a lot faster than I thought. So that's the mess, and this is the fix. This is before, and that's pretty good. All right, and now I really have to look at this back and see if it's worth. Yeah, I think I should lift this back a bit. I'm going to make this brush really broad and just move this entire mass up. And it's really not going to be that noticeable because there is no detail here. Let me smooth this central part out. And the other thing I should be more concerned about is this breast tissue. So this breast tissue does have to move up. And for this one, I think it'd be a better idea to use the soft selection because I can get a larger region. So if I was to select this and hit the B key to go into soft selection, increase my radius. This is one of those things where you want to move a large area up. Might want to grab that too. Maybe some points down here. All right, so with most of the breast tissue selected, let me see what a move does. Yeah, that's not bad. Let me undo that. Yeah, and increase that region of influence. Grab a few more points. I think it can go up with the pectoralis. Maybe, yeah, that's about good. So if I take all this and I move it up, that's pretty good. So let me see what that looks like. Yeah, that's about a good ascent for the breast tissue if you were to do a shrug. So yeah, apparently this wasn't that hard. So this was, I suppose, a really simple one. Let's see the back. Yeah, there's just some geometry just sliding up. That's not bad. Okay, so that's it. All right, so it's time to duplicate this twice. I can hide my source and give this thing a proper name. TRGT left. I could just call it shrug just to simplify things. Yeah, let me just call it a shrug because that's what it is. Shoulder shrug. When it comes to distinguishing between a retraction and a protraction, I'll give it. I'll put that in the naming. Right. These names are getting a little crazy. Right shoulder shrug. Okay. So let me do this erasing, masking process. I'm here, go to edit, grab the mask tool, and actually what I want to do is let me go to the front view. Let me isolate this, see if I can isolate all this work to polygons on just one side. Go vertices. Just make sure I select this. I do have to make sure I turn off symmetry. Select one half of the mesh. And yeah, let me see if the mask tool will isolate its I don't think so. I don't think that's going to work. I think it will extend. Yeah, it'll extend beyond the selection point. So okay, so toggling this on and off. Yes, it's just on one side. Deal with the other side. Okay, so that's erased too. Let me check it. All that works. Okay, looks good. So that's sorted out. Let me make sure I put delete in this name. So I know it has to go with these other ones. They'll all go soon. I don't know, I like to hold on to stuff just to be safe and make sure that I completely don't need it before I let it go. But okay, so that's that. And now it's time to deal with retraction and protraction.